variations and combinations of these. This is an amazing point in presence as well, and I believe this is probably an amazing meditation and practice that can also bring you into the flow of the body and many other areas of your life, especially when practiced with authenticity for the focus of honesty, that is for the intention and benefit for all beings everywhere without one exception. If you leave a single being out, you'll leave a piece of yourself out, and not all of you will be able to come to the party, and so not all of you will be able to be with this part of the show to a place of power and fluidity. You may be able to begin to start these chord shapes and structures, but you will not be able to understand me, then you'll be led into a place of ignorance and confusion, as it will have to be a reflection of what it is you're doing with yourself, as I reflect all of consciousness quite amazingly clearly, and so do the teachings in which come from me. The fruits of my tree always bearing fruits that live within the ground in which they're planted. Their seeds are planted. When eaten, they bear fruit, is what I mean, in a really amazing manner. Eat from my tree, baby. I actually, and that's what that would lead you to see as well, is that showing of your own leading yourself to confusion. If you do it in front of me, I'll definitely point it out for you. You may think of me as a demon or somebody who's saying something against manners to you, because it may be against the ego identity or the rules in which you form yourself to be. And that's what we're usually breaking down with other people when they come to me. They come to me to argue. They come to me to compete. I'm not here to compete. I'm not here to argue. You don't have to throw a frequency at me in a defensive manner. We can talk like men, like women, like beings, like humans, like limitless members of consciousness, like people who respect and love each other unconditionally and think of each other as the exact absolute embodiment of perfection, as I do you. Which is why I don't treat you as if you're a weak, seldom few. I give you the most raw authenticity, which is what you need from me. I know I've been shown that by everything, that honesty is the greatest of all qualities, and not greatest in a way that's in dissonance of anything, but in a way that can help everything, that the truth can set us free, that if we just offer each other the wisdom of our hearts, in a way of fullness, though. So that's learning who we are and how to express ourselves fully. There's a dialogue that's internal within us all that could be brought to the external, and then we can start to harmonize what's internal with the external in a way that makes both of these things easily bonding and hard in the creation of reverberation. Now, most of the reverberation that could be possible through what is no attack and no defense authenticity is just simply our own confusion as to why we're not gaining the positive results socially in which we thought ourselves to maybe be able to be having. Now, again, this could be happening for a number of reasons. But this is when talking about the angle of view of coming into honesty or authenticity with expression with other beings, when we're not saying in fullness. This, in a way, is an attack. You see, it's a taking from another frequency by not giving everything that you're meant to give to a frequency. You're only giving it part, which skews the view and causes a dissonance and a confusion within the other being, which then also does a similar thing to yourself. And the confusion and dissonance can be described in great many ways. I describe all kinds of things as confusion when I'm brought from my center into a place of seeming lower awareness in order for perfect teaching to unfold for my benefit and for the benefit of everything. And so you'll understand that I use some words in really huge general ways, and they encompass a scope of frequencies that is quite vast. And so in this particular speaking of that word, and the words that are alongside, or the word alongside it, these were quite vast in this way, and that's why I give the impeccable expression of this as not to lead you into confusion of harshness. I would hate for you to believe that I meant it at this level in context when it was actually at this level in context. And so through expressing myself fully, we can be more accurately aware as to what it is that I am actually saying, and then we can be sure that to at least a much smaller possibility, we will not be led into confusion. And that's the best we can do, is do our best to not mislead one another and present our awareness to the greatest amount of authenticity that is, and that may be also not saying anything to them at all. So just knowing what in fullness is the dialogue of yourself, and I don't feel like talking to you, and this is why. Have a beautiful day, or even just go away. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. It's just what you feel actually. But this will also be much better off when we don't base the this that we're referring to as our ego self or the illusory self that we're believing ourselves to be, the one who's triggered by all kinds of things because it's still very confused about all kinds of stuff. But the self that's like really God, what do they say? True and real and centered and balanced because it knows what it is. And so when you know yourself and you cannot be moved in kind of ways of personalization and then attack and defense that leads to volatility, when you're not anymore prone to making assumptions and expectations, and so when they or assumptions and personalizations of energy, so when they present themselves, you have less triggering. Now will present uh, less volatility possibility, and when you're at that level, you'll be in a great place of growth. I'm listening to people yelling in the hall over here, so there was a kind of dual focus happening there that kind of skewed me, broke me from the fixation of the focus of that channel. I guess I could have probably repeated those statements in different ways for a long duration, but when this kind of thing comes into the flow, it kind of changes the frequency, changes the song, and I could think it was wrong, doubt it, and become insecure, or I could just keep expressing and see what happens. And so that's what I typically do is I just keep expressing, see what happens, express completely in fullness. Every time I express in fullness in this way, yeah, I'm kind of a lengthy speaker, but I'm always speaking of wisdom, so that's kind of freaking weird, right? Like, oh, I'm stating what I'm observing, and because I'm observing realization, or the level of the realization that I'm at, I'm realizing perfection constantly. I have a lot of amazing wisdom to constantly in every moment speak about, and pretty much any way I'll speak, mundane or not, even if I swear or do this, that, or the other. It's an amazing place to be, and it can come through, again, the setting of intention to match that of the Bodhisattva in medicine ceremony, with a true dedication to the benefit of all beings everywhere without one exception, to the end of all their lifetimes, for the liberation of all beings everywhere without one exception, even before your own. And if you can match that quality and intention and ask the heart of us all, the light of light, the host, the source of everything, to write your path and make sure that you're not doing it for an ego purpose and set you into alignment with what is truly of the highest benefit to all beings everywhere without one exception, to fulfill your divine light purpose and to be of the highest benefit that you can possibly be, to know who you are and what your purpose is, then despite what it may mean for you, no matter what it may mean for you, no matter at all what it may mean for you, even if it means the very worst of things, or even the seemingly close to worst thing, like even to the great vastness and expanse of what that could be possibly imaginable in a limitless state of consciousness, then if you can bring yourself to that level of purity and intention at the beginning of a medicine ceremony, and be true, be authentic, like be real about it, like not, then you'll be led to an amazing thing. And if you go into there and you're not true about it, I have no idea what's going to happen to you, but it's going to be an insane, detrimental reflection. It will be great harm and suffering to your personal egoic being that will cripple it and break its knees in a sense, bring it to its knees in a sense, or something. I don't know. I mean, something's going to have to show you um, how to get right. Now, this may be actually easy depending on how far back you went, or how far you come, or whatever that is. It could be quite easy. It could be quite gentle. It could also be like an entire reality is about to wipe you out and delete you immediately if you don't get right, and you might be completely gone immediately. So it just depends. These things can seem harsh, but it's really just we really are not a benefit for ourselves. And so for you at that time, what would have became of your greatest benefit would have been to be completely wiped out. And so that's like insane to think of that. But also the benefit of everything because of how we're not separate. So we're going to paint amazing pictures of that, so it's not quite as scary, because it's not scary. There's nothing to judge. There's no reason to be worried or afraid in a way of like, how dare this? But people have already been doing that about God for a long time, so I think we're going to be a little easier on consciousness. But yeah, something's happening in there with her. I hope she's doing okay. I'm sad she's not feeling too good. It wasn't all just a day. It was something feeling sick in her tummy today, and she was thinking maybe kidney stones, which I guess are extremely painful. So she must be in a ridiculous amount of pain right now. And I really hope that we can move through it and then we can help with it. I asked her earlier if she wanted to go to the hospital even before we ever even started making this video. It's 3 hours and 19 minutes in. So, yeah, I have to imagine that she is not doing well. So, this was a long time ago. We went and got our COVID test today. We're going to get on an airplane tomorrow. Cost us $150 a piece. Luckily, this sweet angel got it for us. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to. I was starting to discuss that too. I was like, oh, okay, am I messing up here? What's going on? Hey, if I get down and insecure, I just start talking about it, expressing out loud, and finding out what's going on. I'm not afraid of it. I mean, if it's there, it's there. We got to accept it. Let's move through it. Let's figure it out. The only way is if we start looking at it. And so the greatest way to focus on something I've seen is to vocally point that thing out. Hey, there it is! I could like start doing this, like if I see something like, just kind of look around if anybody notices what I'm doing. I don't lose interest in it. Or just like, hey, that over there, look! They're like, what? They'll look at me first. I'm like, there! And they're like, oh? Yeah! Whoa! When you use your voice, it's just so much more clear and accurate for people to be able to receive. You're like, well, let's just do it telepathically, bro. Like, well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're doing that right now. I mean, thought is literally just quiet voice. Telepathy and thought, it's attuning to a specific frequency is all, so you can hear it. Like, you need to tune into that point right there, then the transmission that's coming through it's going to come through you. So you're both going to be in tune to the same thing. And then you can, I guess, share back and forth if you want. I don't know. I don't like noises. You know, I'm here present with me. Don't talk to me. You want to talk to me? Come here. Come right over here and talk to me. Or don't. You're not here with me now. I mean, what? I'm going to be doing a flow and all of a sudden get a ring. Well, I'm channeling consciousness right now. I'm channeling consciousness. Who's this? Who's this? Oh, Bund. Oh, I love you, my brother. Yeah, everything's going good. Oh, yeah, I have a lot of people watching me do this channel right now, but it's no problem. I'll talk to you for a second. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, I love you. Yeah, okay. Have a beautiful day. Okay. Yeah. Sweet dreams to you too. Of course. Yeah, no, I'm doing a light check. No, I'm doing light language channel. Well, I'm in Chicago. I don't know, in Chicago, I'm not in Chicago. I just, making a little fun spoof. I don't like lying, joking when it leaves the realm of impeccability. But obviously, the entire thing was an impeccable symbolization, an example and a scenario, but still. So you can see the audacity. It's kind of funny. It's a fun literality. It's not too bad. I mean, I don't really judge these things, but I think that it's kind of silly. It's like, come on, guys. I mean, look at this thing. Anyways. Oh, yeah, she's doing great in there. I think she just personalized something I had said. I'm not sure for sure. But she said, I love you. I'm sorry. I just need to take care of my body. And darling, I mean, I don't know any reason why you would be sorry. You're awesome. You haven't done anything. I don't mind that you didn't have anything to say on the camera today. You're feeling sick and you're feeling bad, and I was being sincere when I was saying that on the camera. I'm sorry if it seems as if I'm not. Maybe I sound robotic at this time. I don't mean to. I love you dearly. I think you're the greatest person in the entire world. I have nothing but the most utter gratitude and honor for your being, and I love you with all my heart and all my soul, and I don't think you've done anything wrong in any way ever, at all, ever. And yeah, I'm happy to be moving through all kinds of expression and chord shapes with you. I'm happy that everything was agitated in such a way that caused the videos to start occurring again today and to be talked about in all these different ways. And I think it's super, super, super duper awesome. And I hope that you're feeling really good as well. I'm sorry that you're feeling sick. At this moment, wondering if there's anything I can do to help you feel any better. Would you like some water?
Yes, please.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to get her some water. I love you all. In fact, I might step off of the... I'm going to get her some water first and think about it. Okay, I'll see you guys in just a second. I love you all. I understand. It's hard. I said the thing about the A and the H too. I come in with that. I love you. You're amazing. You're the best in the world. When? Uh-huh. When did you present a lot of wrong data? Oh yeah. Well, you're awesome. Yeah, it's tough to know what has happened to an utter accuracy, especially when two people are saying that they're both that accurate with their memory or something, and so since everybody's all absolute, we just gotta find out some way to figure out which contradictory information is absolutely correct when they're both presenting themselves to be that way. And for me, I usually just break and let go of any realm of force or motion in that direction and just say, fine, guess maybe I'm wrong. And somebody else doesn't do that, that's okay. But for me, I've reached the chord shape and curvature in a way of intelligence from my path and my observation of the path, my perception of all the informations that have been brought through me by consciousness through so many experiences. And and it shows me that, hey, even if I think I remember exactly 100% right, I could be wrong, even though it could have happened just like a second ago. Who knows? But also that arguing and fighting and combating and competing is useless. So if we can't figure it out, then we just can't figure it out. If we can't figure it out, the moment that a contradiction shows up, I just say, screw talking about it, let's just figure it out instead. But we could sit there and discuss who could be right and who could be wrong, or we can just find out. And for this, we were shooting a video, and so we couldn't really turn it off yet, in order to do that. But I know you had something to say about, how you really believe you did say something about that, because you did say that. And of course you didn't hear the entire thing that I was saying yet, because you came in, because you personally, you had to defend yourself real quick, because something was said incorrectly about you. And that's cool. But then you didn't get to hear everything I was going to say, so you didn't get to hear the way I was explaining in fullness the entire context of what it was I was meaning when I was saying that. And so it seems to me like it's possible that you did say something exactly as what you were authentically expressing just then, that you were expressing completely honestly and probably accurately from the realm of expression, the context in which you believed the context to be. But because the context was actually different than what it was you believed it to be, you were coming in with a context or a frequency of defense that was guided by your perception of where you believed the flow was going. But as it turns out, the flow was going somewhere else, and so you responded inaccurately to the way in which energy was actually moving, just due to the personalization and the catching on to the small fragment of what was personalized as the entire duration of what was being said. But through the entire context being relayed, we could find out actually a different frequency is coming through in a certain manner, and then we can really understand how that beautiful frequency was necessary and a beautiful wisdom that didn't need to be controlled or stopped in any way, and that entire fullness comes to it, especially in a being that shared such beautiful love with us. You know what I mean? I'm always singing and saying beautiful poetry, and I'm not shaming you or demeaning you or trying to bring you down in some kind of a manner. It's constantly lift you up in every way, and I'm always about impeccability and honesty and the accuracy of information, And I have no trouble being wrong if I'm wrong or anything like that. At this moment, I believe that I'm probably accurately correct, but I also do not know that, so I will not stand so solid and rigidly to where we would have to fight and kill one another as over whoever is the victor of that particular information. And that's usually where people lose out, is they can't budge on their idea, but they're not even sure of that idea. They actually might kill somebody and then find out they were wrong later, and that's like the craziest of things. Um, and perfect as well, but you want to come here and say that? Not in front of the camera, just over here on the side.
I don't know how to express myself to
And a
you.
little louder.
I don't know how to express myself anymore if everything seems to be like a personalization of something. You know, it seems like everything I try to express is a personalization, and that seems like a wrong expression for me to make. And so I'm trying to be really careful about what I'm saying, whether it's. So when I came in with that earlier, I thought that I was coming in a way of equanimity, of like I can understand, you know, what is happening here, and I didn't feel like it was harsh at all. I felt like I could have been wrong, and it doesn't. I just wanted you to know that I felt good about it. You know, that's what I was trying to say. I felt good about it, whether I said it or I didn't. You know, if I didn't, then I got an amazing teaching from it. But mainly, what I was trying to say was just that I felt good about that teaching. You know, that it taught me a lot, and now I feel like I'm trailing off into some sort of like unnecessary repetition. So I'm gonna stop.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess it'd be tough for you to have trail off into a repetition when you've only said like barely a sentence. But maybe you were looping there. I don't know. It seems to me like there was a lot of seeming information coming through that was, again, just kind of deeply confusing to me in some manner as to how that was what you expressed just now. But I guess it's that now you're saying it feels like you can't express it all because everything you say is perceived by me as a personalization. Is this actually true? Is this an accurate information? Like, is this something that actually is true? Because this is, again, another absolute thing that you may say that's not absolutely correct, maybe. But maybe it is absolutely correct. Maybe I do say that. Maybe everything you've ever said to me is a personalization. Maybe I say that, hey, all you ever do is personalize. Did I say that?
I spoke wrong. I'm sorry I made it an
I
absolute.
I just think it's interesting, you know.
What I meant to say was just.
I just don't know how much we think, or do we think too much, or what's like how accurate is it that we wish to be with information transfer?
Conversations today. I'm sorry that I misspoke. How can I express myself to you in a way of like honesty that's not cutting out what I'm feeling? I don't understand.
What do you mean?
How do I express myself like when I get stuck in my thoughts and I share them to you, you know, and then it comes out as sort of personalization. How do I express those things not as a personalization but as like a how can I recognize that, you know, and share that with you, that I'm taking it personally and that I'm trying to move through it, you know, how do I express that to you, that I'm like just like that, you know, I'm taking this personally, I'm sorry, I'm trying to move through it.
Do you want to speak louder so everybody can hear you or something?
I'm sorry that I'm taking, and what is that what I say? I'm sorry that I'm taking things personally right now. I'm trying to work through it. You know, I'm sorry to cut out your teachings. The, I'm that I'm not receiving the wisdom because I got caught on a thought. What do I
I've got you naked. Luckily, we didn't catch it on camera. We're so cleverly perfect somehow. I was 27 when I said that. Oh, what were you saying again? Were you saying something? Sorry, we lightened the mood. Sorry about that. I meant to keep it heavy.
I'm struggling in my communication towards you because what I'm trying to relate to you is that I'm feeling something and I'm trying to work it through that what I'm feeling is not accurate. You know, I'm trying to bring it out into the light to see that it's not accurate, you know, and to actually like talk about it and express about it. But every time I do, it seems like you I don't know, it comes out wrong in what you can perceive as a personalization that I'm strongly trying to work through, you know, like a story that I'm not trying to believe, that I'm trying to overcome. I just don't know how to present these things, you know. I struggle. It's just, you talk about, I'm really, all I want to do is speak in equanimity